incredible ancient text quotes that prove that the Nephilim were real. Now, the Nephilim, as we said, is a Hebrew word, and these were mysterious beings or people in the Hebrew Bible who were large and strong. The word Nephilim, or Anakim, is loosely translated as giants, and some translations in the Hebrew Bible left untranslated in others. Some traditional Jewish explanations interpret them as fallen angels. The Abrahamic religion fallen angels are angels who were expelled from heaven. The literal term fallen angel appears neither in the Bible nor in Abrahamic scriptures, but it's used to describe angels cast out of heaven, that is the kingdom of God, or angels who sinned, and such angels often tempt humans to sin as well. So these were the Nephilim. Now, according to ancient texts, in the distant past, beings referred to as Nephilim walked on earth. This enigmatic species was not identical to humans, but also not that different. They were a hybrid species, descendants from the fallen angels, a product of illicit relations between fallen angels and human women before the flood and Noah's Ark. But who were these mysterious beings, and did they exist on earth just as ancient texts suggested? In the Hebrew Bible, the word Nephilim occurs on 2 occasions, both times in the Torah. The first one being in the book of Genesis 6 giants, verse 1 to 4, just before the story of Noah's Ark. And the second is in Numbers 13, 32 to 33, when the spies sent to Canaan reportedly sees fearsome giants there. Myth or reality? Well, I believe it's reality, actually. Now, here we bring you 10 quotes from ancient texts which ultimately prove the Nephilim walked on earth in the distant past. Genesis 6:2. The sons of God saw the daughters of men were attractive, and they took them as wives, and they as any they choose. Genesis 6:4. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterwards, when the sons of God came into the daughters of man, and they bore children to them. These were the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. This is one recent finding of a mural in one of the Egyptian pyramids, the tombs that is, and it's a giant, and we see that he's actually carrying 2 elephants, so we can understand how huge these ancient Nephilim giants were, the Genesis giants of old. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. And this is one of the Baalbek columns. As we can see, this was cracked and just left there. But we don't even have technology today to cut stones like this big, and even lift them. Now, the third reference is in Numbers 13, 30 to 33. But Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, "Let us go up at once and occupy it, for we are well able to overcome it." Then the men who had gone up with him said, "We are not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we are." So they brought to the people of Israel a bad report of the land that they had spied out, saying, "The land through which we have gone to spy it out is a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people that we saw in it are of great height. And there we saw the Nephilim, the sons of Anak, who came from the Nephilim. And we seemed to ourselves like grasshoppers, and so we seemed to them." So to me, this is not mythology. This is actually a fact that the people, the humans, that is, the tribes of Israel, were so tiny compared to these giants. And then we have 2 Samuel 21:16. And Ishbi Benob, one of the descendants of the giants, whose spear weighed 300 shekels of bronze, and who was armed with a new sword, thought to kill David. 2 Samuel 21:18. After this, there was again war in the Philistines at Gob. The Sibekia and the Hushathite struck down Saph, who was one of the descendants of the giants. 2 Samuel 21:20. Now Samuel was a prophet of the time of the first king of Israel, Saul. right? Now, 2 Samuel 21:20, and there was giant war at Gath, where there was a man of great stature who had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot, 24 in number, and he also was descended from the giants. 2 Samuel 21:22, these 4 were descended from the giants in Gath, and they fell by the hand of David and by the hand of his servants. Deuteronomy 3:11, for only Og, the king of Bashan, was left of the remnant of the Rephaim. Again, the Rephaim were Nephilim, Anakim, giants, fallen angels. The remnant of the Rephaim, behold, his bed was a bed of iron. Is it not in Rabbah of the Ammonites? 9 cubits was its length, and 4 cubits its breadth, according to the common cubit. Amos 2:9, yet it was I who destroyed the Amorite before them, whose height was like the height of the cedars, and who was as strong as the oaks. I destroyed his fruit above and his roots beneath. This is unbended reality. And we know that even some heroes of the ancient Greeks, of the Trojan War, were giants. Their spears and their shields were so big that 4 or 5 men had to carry them. So this is how huge they were, even at that time, before the flood. Now, in the Hebrew Bible, we said Nephilim were in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bore children to them, the same were the mighty men that were of old, the men of renown. Where the Jewish Publication Society simply translated the Hebrew Nephilim, the King James Version translates the term as giants. So the nature of the Nephilim is complicated by the ambiguity of Genesis 6:4, which leaves it unclear whether they are the sons of God or their offspring, or they are the mighty men of renown. The second number is Numbers 13:32-33, when the 10 of the 12 spies, we said, reported that they had seen fearsome giants in Canaan. And there we saw the Nephilim as the sons of the Anak, who came of the Nephilim, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight. In Genesis 6:4, the verse understood by Handel reads, they lie with the warriors of Nephilim of old, who descended to Sheol, that is hell, with their weapons of war. They placed their swords beneath their heads and their shields upon their bones, for the terror of the warriors was upon the land of the living. Now, Brian Doak, on the other hand, proposes that to read the term as Hebrew verb fallen, or Nephilim, not a use of specific term Nephilim. Still, according to Doak, a clear reference to the Nephilim tradition is found in Genesis, the Genesis giants. In 1 Enoch, there were great giants whose height was 300 cubits, a cubit being 18 inches. This would make them 442 feet tall. Okay? This is taller than a skyscraper. What can I tell you? The Quran refers to the people of Ad in Quran 26, whom the prophet Hud declares to be like Gibrim in Hebrew, probably a reference to the biblical Nephilim. The people of Ad are said to be giants, the tallest among them, 100 feet in height. So the fallen angels here, the early source referred to the sons of God as angels from the 3rd century BC, referring to Enochic literature and Dead Sea Scrolls, and also in the Testament of Reuben, 2 Baruch, Josephus, and the book of Jude, compare with 2 Peter 2, 1 Enoch 7:2, and when the angels, the sons of heaven, beheld them, they became enamored of them, saying to each other, come, let us select ourselves wives from the progeny of men, and let us beget children. And some Christian apologists, such as Tertullian and Lactantius, shared this same opinion. So this is, I've also read this from you for Nephilim from Wikipedia. So obviously they were fallen angels and tremendous giants, as we said, some of them over 100 feet tall, others over 442 feet tall. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support.